The COVID-19 outbreak is a stark reminder of the continued importance of maintaining a sound fiscal footing to deal with surprises and unexpected scenarios. In particular, we are able to mount a decisive response to support Singaporeans and workers through uncertain times only because of good long-term planning. I announced in 2018 that we plan to raise the GST by 2 percentage points to 9% sometime from 2021 to 2025. This is to raise recurrent revenues to meet our recurrent spending, particularly for healthcare. After reviewing our revenue and expenditure projections and considering the current state of the economy, I've decided that the GST increase will not take effect in 2021. In other words, the GST rate will remain at 7% in 2021. However, we'll not be able to put off the increase indefinitely. In fact, this outbreak has reinforced the importance of continued investments in our healthcare system, including the capability to deal with outbreaks. I will still require recurrent sources of revenue to fund our recurrent spending needs in the medium term. Thus, the GST increase will still be needed by 2025. We'll assess carefully the appropriate time for the increase, but rest assured, we'll provide Singaporeans sufficient lead time. I want to assure everyone that when we raise the GST rate, we will ensure that our taxes and transfer system remains progressive. We'll continue to absorb GST on publicly subsidized healthcare and education. And just as we have done in the past, we'll provide an assurance package when the GST rate is raised. This will be a $6 billion package for Singaporeans to cushion the increase as we transition to the higher GST rate. GST is paid by all in Singapore, including foreigners working and visiting here. But the assurance package will benefit Singaporeans. The majority of Singaporean households will receive offsets to cover at least 5 years' worth of additional GST expenses incurred. So the majority of Singaporean households will receive offsets to cover at least 5 years' worth of additional GST expenses incurred. Lower-income households will receive much more. Those living in 1 to 3 room HDB flats will receive offsets equivalent to about 10 years' worth of additional GST expenses incurred. Under the assurance package for GST, every adult Singaporean will receive a cash payout of $700 to $1,600 over 5 years. To illustrate, a family of 4 with a combined income of $6,000 living in a 4-room HDB flat can receive about $7,000 in offsets over 5 years in total. This includes cash of about $4,000. Over and above the transitional support, we already have the permanent GST voucher or GSTV scheme. It defrays GST for lower to middle income Singaporeans. When the GST is raised, I will enhance the permanent GST voucher scheme. I will maintain the government's public commitments to fully offset the GST for the lower half of retiree households, significantly offset the GST for the upper half of retiree households, and offset about half of the GST for lower income households with no elderly persons. This is the government's way of ensuring our system of taxes and transfers remains progressive and supports Singaporeans through the change, while enabling us to fund our future needs in a sustainable way. No, it's not mine. It's not mine. To meet these commitments, I will set aside $6 billion for the assurance package in the GSTV fund in this year's budget.